step number one is definitely to get to know your body. Getting to know your body primarily refers to your own experience. So the most valuable piece of information that you can have is actually tracking your symptoms and seeing how they map up with your menstrual cycle as well. Over our years of working with women, we know that women experience symptoms very, very differently. So while I mentioned these high-level things like low mood, anxiety, irritability, we also know that women call a lot of symptoms in a different way. What may seem like anxiety to one person may seem like fear to another person, or they might call it a whole different thing as well. We also notice that a lot of women will have kind of weird or unusual symptoms, though trust me, I've seen a lot of different symptoms and they're actually not as weird as you may think. But for example, a lot of women will think about big life changes, things like wanting to quit their job, wanting to break up with their partner, wanting to move to a different country in those weeks leading up to their period. And that actually can be a PMS symptom as well. Some women may also have, for example, things like a nosebleed in the week leading up to their period. So whatever you experience, it's important to always record your own kind of symptoms and understand how they fit within your menstrual cycle, because there's still a lot of unknown space in that area as well, and your symptoms are really unique. One of the best ways to get to know your body is to know your symptoms. The second way is to use a lot of wearables or some other pieces of information in order to, for example, look at temperature trends. We know that temperature tends to rise after ovulation has occurred, so temperature at basal body temperature can be a really good identifier of where you are in the menstrual cycle as well. Tracking your period obviously also helps. Here I should also add a caveat that if you are using long-term contraception, long-term hormonal contraception as well, a lot of people will still have some level of menstrual cycle kind of patterns. So even though you no longer have an actual period, you have withdrawal bleeding instead, you will still have hormonal variation that will be impacting your brain as well. These tools are also enabled whether or not you have kind of a regular cycle as well, because the symptoms reflect how your hormones and your brain interact.